Hello.
Hello.
Hello everyone and welcome to our Shaolin Talks.
Hello.
Welcome back. My name is Martine
My name is Janine.
and we're going to be chatting to you every week about some topical things that are going on and covering various different issues and public things that are going on in society and just exploring those issues with you today. So today we're looking at basically young people's health. There was an article that was released in the Independent,
Yep.
in the Independent newspaper this week, saying that young people's health has suffered the most during the lockdown period, which is quite surprising.
Surprising,
Yeah.
actually, as well. Because if you look at it, when I read the article, I was like, oh, this is interesting, because you see, like, all you hear is about the vulnerable, the old people, like people over 75 being the most affected by COVID-19, the actual illness, or people that have underlying health issues, that they are the most affected. But then when you look at also like these young people in this article, they are actually the least affected by the actual illness.
Physical,
Or by
as
the
in physical affected,
So
yeah.
they're the least affected physically by this disease or illness. I'm not sure how you want to call it. But on the flip side, they're the most worried about their future. They're the most affected by health and well-being, mental health issues. And if you ask the people, like the elderly, the vulnerable, they're actually not worried. I wouldn't say not worried at all, but they're less worried. They're less worried than the younger generation, and that actually surprised me. But then it didn't surprise me too much either. It's a bit like, oh yeah, in the first instance, it is surprising reading this. But then I was like, oh no, thinking about it, it actually makes complete sense, doesn't it? Because you have so much energy when you're like 18 to 24, like in your early 20s, late teens, you have so much energy and you do so much, isn't it? And then obviously COVID-19 put like really severe restrictions on our youth, you know.
It says like 3/4 of people feel more anxious. This is research from the Royal Society of Public Health. So it announced that 70%, that's quite a high number, 70% of young people between the ages of 18 to 24 were experiencing high levels of anxiety, low mood, poor well-being and loneliness. They felt that various aspects of their health had suffered, like their sleep and their well-being, that their education had suffered from it, relationships, and also their sociability.
Yeah.
So we also had, we were also chatting last week with some students from Southampton University, and they were chatting to us about their experiences during lockdown, about how difficult it's been for them studying and how they feel about
also
their,
it's like
this time.
about their outlook on life, what they're looking forward into future, isn't it? It's like, because you're young, you're just starting out, you have dreams and so on, and now all of a sudden you kind of feel like double the amount of pressure than you normally would feel. You know, usually student life, you feel already quite a lot of pressure in just kind of getting your exams ready, studying the things you
At the moment
need
they've got their dissertation
now,
on it.
yeah, they also, if you're in an
A
exam
lot of
period or in like dissertation period, that's already also quite a lot of pressure on you to get things right, to get good marks, to get a good standing. Obviously, because you want to be able to enter the workforce, right? You want to be able to find a job. You want to obviously make your mark on businesses and so on. And it's really, I can see it's like it's another double amount of pressure that comes on to our youth, that with these restrictions of not being allowed to go anywhere,
Yeah,
not
they
to
feel like-
socialize.
feel frustrated. A lot of feedback that we got when we put this message out to people. They wrote into us and told us that they were feeling really frustrated, and sometimes feeling bored. You know, they were getting really lonely because they couldn't connect with their friends properly. They were feeling anxious, like when they went to the shops and things like that, they were worried about, you know, passing it, you know, contracting it, or just feeling like anxiety, general anxiety. And this was affecting their sleep and eating. And so basically what we want to do today is we want to give you some really good tips. So if you know people out there, young people out there who are experiencing this, or if you're a young person yourself and you're experiencing this, we're going to give you some really good tips on how you can deal with these feelings that you might be having at this time. It's a difficult time for everybody, but we feel that obviously it's a very difficult time for you guys as well. And
I think also, especially when you, because probably a lot of, if you're in this young generation, in this age group, you probably also found you might have a job as a waitress, or as like in the industry of like restaurants, or like the student industry, you know, where it's like just like part-time jobs.
or leisure or something.
Yeah, leisure, exactly.
Remember,
And I mean,
worked in
all those industries are kind of down now, aren't they? So what else can you do? You know, either obviously probably you supplemented your income, you had a bit of money, that's gone now. So what is it that you can do to basically be active again, or to get your experience, and to kind of help a bit with, to take off your pressure of all these different streams where you get pressure from, you know?
And sometimes I understand some young people may be stuck at home with their family as well. So this is going a little bit younger. So 18 to 24, we're looking a little bit younger now. So you might have somebody who's just about to take their GCSEs, you know, and they're at home. And it can be quite intense. So if you're at home with your family and you're having intense situations occurring, like how can you deal with those situations so you can calm it down and that you feel more relaxed and more in control? And if it's a very extreme environment, there are places that you can go to that you can talk to people, you know, and communicate. But we're gonna go through them sort of step by step on some advice on what you can actually do. So shall we
start
with it? Okay. So the first one we've got is stay connected.
Yes, very important.
Stay connected.
So, I mean, obviously, not everyone, or you might not always want to talk to your family if you live with your family. Also, I think probably a lot of students, they had to leave their student housing and had to go back to their family. I don't know what the situation is. Some might go back slowly again, but it's still, I mean, also if you haven't done so already, definitely stay in touch with your tutor, or someone from your university. Usually also the university people do have well-being centers and like health advice. So if you're a bit overwhelmed on all of this, definitely stay in touch with your tutor and your teachers, and obviously also with your peer group, like your fellow students, because this is really important. I remember my time as a student, and I said to Martine earlier, it's like I was always out and about. I was never at home. Actually, as a student, I was never at home. I was either at university with other students, kind of.
You have so much energy.
Or I was working.
It's quite some time ago for me now. I remember I had a lot of energy.
Yeah, same.
And I can imagine, like, you have that amount of energy and you can't go out. It's like so frustrating. You can't socialise it. I suppose at that point in your life, you're just trying to find out who you are and what you want to be and what you want from life. And you've got that really yang energy, and then you're stuck indoors. So you've got to find an outlet. You have to find a way in which you can channel all of that energy and really.
I know, it's like, I mean, we
focus it.
At my work, we work with students as well, and some said they actually went for like bike rides now when the sun was out, so that really helped some of the students I spoke to. They just went out, and maybe some just went to the beach. Like, I mean, you're allowed to meet up to 6 people, isn't it? So they did
it's a bit
meet
different
up.
now, isn't it?
And also, just maybe just go for a bike ride or kind of explore your environment a bit. So sometimes, and that's also what you need to do, even like without the restrictions. If you like under the pressure of all your studying and you have all this information in your head and you need to write this all down or you write your thesis and you have all the stuff in your head, sometimes you actually do need to take the time to get away from your paper, get away from your computer, go outside, do some completely different thing that has nothing to do with your studies. Just go for a bike ride or
It's
run.
balanced. It's kind of a more balanced way to look at
And
something.
then usually it helped me as well when you came back. You have like a fresh mind. Everything is much clearer, and that helps in general with your thesis or paper or whatever you're trying to learn.
And if you're not a student and you're same age, so 18, 24, you're not a student and you decide to go down the work route, maybe your work is closed, and you're also in the same situation, you're stuck indoors, there are lots of different other ways that you can channel that energy that you have. So if you're feeling anxious, then there are methods and things that you can find, especially on the internet, to help you to calm down your mind. Obviously what we teach here at the temple, the mindfulness and meditation is a really effective tool to help you relax and help you to find a space that's inside you, that's not, everything might be going really crazy outside, but you have a space within you that you can find that nobody else can really reach. And if you can find that space and learn how to access it, you're going to be able to deal with those situations a lot more easily, a lot more effectively. So if you can't get to classes, you can search online, you can find online classes. You can also have a look at some apps that are out there like Headspace, and there's a few other ones that are really good to have a look at. And they can just guide you through the basics of learning how to breathe and learning how to relax your body and focus your energy. Because at the end of the day, when you feel anxious, it's because your mind is overactive and it's affecting your body. So by calming your mind down, it in turn affects your body, because your mind, your body, everything is linked. It's not separate. Everything's kind of linked together. So when you do one thing, it's going to affect the other. So
So it's especially, isn't it? It's like stay calm. You'll be able to sleep again. You don't lie in your bed worrying about what's going to happen.
Oh, and if you are in situations where it's getting really tense at home in the environment, so you might feel, people at this time, they've got a lot of financial worries, they're stressed about their work, they can't meet their friends, the tensions are going to be really high, and very snappy, and some things you might not necessarily mean to say those things, or other people might not, but the tensions are really high. So how to deal with situations like that, rather than fueling it, is to take those moments, move yourself away from the situation, maybe go outside, take a walk, calm down, give yourself half an hour to calm yourself down, calm your adrenaline or your emotions, and use those breathing techniques just to relax, and then go back into the environment with a clear head. I think sometimes, all your emotions can get carried away, and it's a good method just to help you alleviate that. If you're in situations that are extreme, then there are definitely a lot of helplines out there that can help you. You must talk to somebody. You must share with people what's going on.
Don't bottle it up.
Don't bottle up. don't just okay, no one should know. You need to get out there. You need to tell people, professional people, what's happening. It's non-judgmental. It's confidential. They're not allowed to tell anybody else it's happening, but they can give you some really good professional advice. So things like, if you're under 18, so you have a child line, and you also have places like the Mix. Have you heard of the Mix?
I haven't heard of the Mix.
The Mix is a really good one. It's a new one. I haven't heard of that one. That's a new one. And obviously you've got the Samaritans, you have Women's Aid, you have Citizens Advice. So these are all advice lines that you can go to with professional people who can chat to you. And if you don't have that, maybe you can chat to somebody like a teacher or a professional person, or a
Yeah.
doctor, or
Or like
something.
sometimes your university, I think your university website should have like some numbers specific to your area. So yeah, or your sometimes also your council has specific to your area
Yeah, that's right.
advice.
You can go online.
So if it's like a local, or you want to, obviously you don't want to, well, most of the time will be on the phone now, or like via online probably. Yeah.
I think if you are worried and you're fearful, then one way to get that out is to express it, is to express your concerns or get out your worries. So by talking to somebody, it's a really great way to get that feeling out. If you can't talk to anybody, or you feel, you know, you just can't do that, and it's not in your character or your nature, you can write it down. You can write these things down and log it, just so you can, it doesn't keep going round and round in your head, you know. And there's lots of different methods, there's lots of different ways in which to calm down anxiety or stress. Some people will find doing something physical helps them to move their energy and gets them and gets those feelings out. And also kind of, if you are feeling like bored and frustrated, you know, like this kind of feeling, then trying something new, like a new skill or something like that.
I think it's like a new skill is quite good as well, and also if you're looking towards your future, and try to obviously, because obviously a lot of things also that stress you out is obviously the uncertainty. You don't know what's going to happen, and then obviously sometimes with exams it's again, so obviously one point to calm you down is being prepared, right? But how can you prepare yourself for the future where you don't know what's going to happen?
Well,
you actually can prepare yourself a bit, because you still can look into which field do you want to go into, what are you interested in, have you got all the skills that they need, you know, or is now maybe a good time to learn a skill that will really benefit you in the working world. Also, or I think still is, if you're also a bit worried about maybe getting like work experience, right? So it might be that at the moment a lot of companies can't offer this or can't offer paid work, but I think you still can get out there and try volunteering as well. If there are maybe volunteering opportunities in the field you want to go to, that first of all gives you experience, and second of all it gives you some connections again, some social, which in the long run can help you, because it will develop your social skills, and it will develop and prepare you a bit for the next step after university, you know. So, and sometimes you can also, obviously it's just really important for you guys also to meet people, meet other people, and because you're restricted at the moment, I think looking at volunteering opportunities, or looking at new things to learn, skills to learn that you might need in future.
Things like you could, if you don't know what to learn, you know, I don't know what to learn, maybe something like a language. Maybe you never thought about learning a new language before, you could learn that. Something like if you're into sports and that's what you're studying, maybe learning a new sporting skill. Or sometimes it doesn't even need to be connected to what you're studying. Maybe it could be you want to learn about different cultures, or you want to learn about more about history or maths, or something that you want to improve in your life. I know that my maths skill is really, really bad at my maths. So, you know, just taking a book and going back and learning and going over stuff like that, it can, you know, give yourself really like small achievable goals that are going to make you feel good about yourself during this time. You know, you want to generate more positivity, as much positivity as you can during this time, and that means surrounding yourself with like positive people, you know, looking at things on social media that are positive. So if you're looking at the news all the time, that's not positive. You know, you're not going to hear great things on the news. It's all about what's going wrong in the world. But you know, finding podcasts. I've got a podcast at the moment that I'm listening to, which is all about herbal medicine.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like, yeah, and it's called Eat Weeds. It's amazing. They're chatting about all these different plants you can eat and medicinal. You know, find something that you find really interesting, and then find a
Yeah.
podcast on it.
I've got
And
the
then
same
listen to
thing.
it, you
I've
know?
got the same thing. I'm at the moment kind of watching videos with like art community and so on.
Yeah, because Janine's really into art
And it's
yeah.
really it really helps me when I'm stressed. It's like I just need to watch people talk about it, and first of all you learn a bit new, and also you see people talking about their passions, and it kind of the mood lifts as well, because if other people are really passionate about what they're talking about, it kind of it infects you too, and you go like, oh, this is really good, and you want to join in.
Yeah,
Because
it lifts you up.
obviously if it's also something you're passionate about, it kind of it is inspiring, it inspires you, and it affects you as well, and it's really good.
Some things that I've also found helpful is during this time is to like focus on my health.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes when if you're studying, especially studying as a student, you're probably not eating that great. That's what you do when you're a student, right?
It's like you just
shoving pasta or
you just have
whatever.
tin food.
Yeah.
Tin food and
Just some sausages, tin sausages. Yeah, okay. Just remember what I used to do when I was a student. Yeah. Just crisp, yeah, and pizza. Yeah, so obviously that's not going to be great for you guys. You know, from a Chinese medicine perspective, you know, your stomach and your spleen are related to your yi, yeah? And your yi is your intent, it's your thinking, it's your ability to be able to use your logic. So if you don't eat properly, it means you can't process your thoughts as easier. So if you can eat really well, you're going to get really good grades. No, obviously there's a lot of other factors to that, but yeah, you can look at your eating habits. So maybe you can think, okay, well today I'm going to download something on BBC
that's really
recipes
cool. You know,
and
really
make a really nice
cool
dish.
is if you live in a shared house or something. I don't know. Yeah, if you live in a shared house, or if you're on your own as well, is try to cook something with your housemates or with your.
Yeah, that's quite a social. Or maybe, Janine, you could get like all of your cameras and put them all around, and then you could be like cooking for them, or like having like an online thing.
Zoom cooking.
Zoom cooking. Like, guys, you can't be here, but I'm cooking.
Yeah, no, but that really, I mean, we did this in my student days as well. You just, you invited friends around, everyone bought something, and then you actually cook together. That's really, it really helps you also to not be too alone in one way, and also it's basically two things at the same time. You're not alone, you have a good time with friends, and you actually do something good for your body, because if you all make the effort to create something healthy, then you don't need to come together and order a pizza. You just come together and cook something.
So when we say healthy, you're like, what do they mean by healthy? Pizza's healthy, isn't it, right? Vegetarian pizza with mushrooms on it?
I would prefer to say like, actually, if you make this pizza from scratch and prepare
and lots of fresh veggies.
lots of vegetables on it, then yes.
Sometimes when you're feeling anxious as well, it can be because you're not eating properly, because you're not getting enough blood, production of blood to your in your body, and it makes you feel anxious. And also if you're not sleeping very well. So you have a combination of things like no sleep, not eating properly, being isolated, all of these kind of amount to anxiety or feeling anxious. And anxiety is like a term, you know, but actually anxiety can be expressed in those different ways. It can be you're really scared about the future, it can be you're over worried, you're overthinking, or can be like you just feel, you know, you don't feel right, you feel panicky, you might be having panic attacks, or you might be just feeling like your heart racing, you know, so there's lots of different ways.
Sometimes people stop eating, you know. Sometimes people eat too much.
Yeah, it affects people in different ways.
Affects people differently. It is stress the same. So I mean, I remember when I was stressed at university, I usually didn't eat. I stopped eating.
Oh, I ate.
I
definitely
wasn't eating
ate.
at all. obviously if you don't eat, it's no good either. So
try to check your diet. You know, make sure you're getting the right vitamin, minerals. Yeah, that's obviously going to help you studying in the long run. And try to, when you say try to sleep, it means don't stay up all really late into the hours. When you're a student, I mean, that's just naturally what you want to do. You want to stay up until the early hours of the morning out partying or whatever. But if you try to get to bed as early as you can, you're going to feel much better in the morning. And believe me, when you get older, you really need to go to bed early.
or you get the sleep afterwards, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's just like, but if you do it all night, which you do a lot, that's the thing. Just make sure you get the sleep afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, you might not be able to feel it. This is the thing, is when you're young, you don't feel it. But actually, the long-term effects of it, it will creep up on you really, really quickly. So you might be doing it like, all right for like a month, 2 months, 3 months. But then, if you're not sleeping for like 6 months, half a year, and then a year, eventually your body's going to grind down. And then what happens with your body is it just hits you. It's like you get burnout. And you don't want to get to that stage. You want to listen to your body before you get there. Because believe me, I've had burnout and it is not good. Yeah. And when you have burnout, I remember when I was a student, I had really bad burnout. It took me nearly another year to get my health back again. It was really bad. Yeah. So that's not easy.
I've experienced. I had some friends as well. Experience exactly the same. It basically throws you back like a year.
You need another year, sometimes even 2 years to get back to how you were before. So if you're feeling that way, you need to acknowledge how you're feeling. Don't ignore it. You need to address it right now. Whatever's happening for you right now, address it and go there, try and deal with it, rather than, I don't worry, I'll go away, or you don't want to come down the line and then it's too late. And, it takes a long time to get it back. But these are the kind of the things. Another thing you can do, which is what I've been doing at the moment, is having a bit of a clear out. So if you're stuck at home and
that always helps.
Just so at home you can like clear out your room, you can clear out all of your notes, or get yourself organised, because when you clear something out, like in the temples, you have to clean your environment before you. I read a great book about staying clean. It like reflects like your mind. So when you clean your space and you clean your environment, it's like clearing your mind as well at the same time. So you can do that with your room, you can do that with your attic, you can do it with your notes, or anything. Just have a really good clear out.
It's a bit of procrastination as well, isn't
it? I have a clear out at least once a week, like clear it, or close out my going out.
I don't want to do the job at hand, I'll just clean first.
But make sure you recycle. Yeah, so if you've got anything old, you can kind of recycle it, and this kind of stuff is really good.
Yeah, shall we just kind of go through our main tips again, just to summarize?
I think so.
To just kind of really drive it home. Just summarize what you can do, and maybe also you can share some of your experience. If you have some other tips that really help you, just put it down, for other people to
send a message.
So, if we just quickly recap, again, very first thing we mentioned was stay connected, stay in touch, voice your fears, talk about it, right? So that's one thing, get the help you need. Then the next one is take yourself away out of stressful situations.
Find positive influences.
Go outside, do something creative, let yourself be inspired by other people.
Develop new skills.
Yes. Search volunteering opportunities, or those kind of opportunities that will help you towards the next step in your career or your life. And then obviously again your physical conditions, eat well, sleep well.
Eat well, so to stay active, be grateful, set yourself achievable goals, maintain a routine, keep positive. The main thing is, guys, is to just keep yourself positive. Look at media, TV, if you're up watching Netflix or whatever. choose to watch positive things that give you really uplifting spirit. You know, you want to
then
build your energy.
In the end of the day, is you will create your own world. You know, so the future is not as bad as you might think. You know, I mean, so far we're still here. We probably had the same worries, you know, maybe a bit different. Maybe we had a few other worries, but we're still here. The world is out there. The world is still out there for you as well, and you can contribute to it, and you can make it your own. So that also kind of bear that in mind. So you don't let yourself be put down by too much doomsday vision.
And Janine's right. You just be positive and create your own space, your own environment. Yeah, you are what you think.
Mm-hmm.
There's a famous saying. You are what you think. So think positive, be positive, and
Awesome.
So, thank you so much for joining us again.
Yeah.
And next week we're going to have a new topic for you guys to listen to. As I said, if you've got any questions or you want to look up any other information, we've got websites that you can follow. We've got a new website that we've just launched, which has got health and wellbeing tips and meditation and anything else that is related to this talk today. You can go on there, and that's www.ukshaolin.com. So you can go on there, you can register, we've got a forum that you can chat to us on. We're also on Instagram and Twitter and lots of other social media platforms. So please get out there, stay connected to us, let us know what's going on. If you think of any other topics that you think are relevant that you would like us to discuss. So today's topic was influenced by us by Southampton University from the students there. And they gave us the inspiration to be able to do something talk about student life and how it's affected them. If there's a topic out there that you would like to discuss or you would like to bring attention to, then please let us know, and we can work on it with our team.
Yes.
Okay.
Looking forward to this.
Yeah. All right, guys, take care, and we will see you next time.